provision of internet access via low Earth orbit satellites PIALEOS for geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, 2 lots REBID, and with the approved budget for the contract of 179,491,233 pesos, all lots, with the end user Director Edgar M. Navarro. And for the second agenda is the bid opening for the procurement of subscription to graphic design platform package for 1 year with the approved budget for the contract of 3,342,500 pesos with the end user engineer Rustom V. Julian. And for the both agenda, the target action is for the consideration of the back members. Mr. Chair, and for the back members, may we request po for the approval of the agenda.
Okay. Members?
Motion
I'm
to
sorry.
approve, Mr. Chair.
Thank you po, Dear Gino.
Second
Any
the motion.
Thank you. It has been moved and duly seconded. Go ahead po, Backsec, with item number 1.
Thank you. Thank you po. Mr. Chair, we will also request the TWG and the other representative and the prospective bidders to be admitted here in the meeting call po.
Okay.
Admit. We would like to acknowledge the presence of the TWG members, the end user representative, and the prospective bidders. Good morning po. For today's private conference, we would like to inform the body that we have 2 prospective bidders who have expressed their interest in participating for the project. We have the Telered Technologies and Service Inc. and the Revolve Solutions Inc. And we also have a prospective bidder who's already purchased the bidding documents, we are IT Philippines, who purchased the bidding documents on August 24, 2026. May we know if there are any companies that haven't been mentioned po? Hearing none po. With the permission po with our chairperson, we will now proceed with the presentation of the project. May we call po on Mr. J.M. Bardelovar po. Thank you po.
Good morning po. Wala pa rin. Mike. Morning po. Again, good morning po. Welcome to our REBID conference. Today is August 26, 2026. The DACT now invites bids for the project provision of internet access via low Earth orbit satellites or PIALEOS for geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas with bid reference numbers DICT back 2026 049 A REBID and DICT back 2026 049 B REBID with an approved budget for the contract of 179,491,233. Again, for the approved budget of for the contract for bid reference number DICT back 2026 049 A rebid with an ABC of 120,934,191 and for DICT back 2026 049 B rebid with an ABC of 58,557,042 and for all lots amounting to 179,491,233. For the project details, the invitation to bid for the project was posted on August 19, 2026 on the following MPhilJobs website, the ACT website, e-procurement website, the ACT bulletin board, and the ACT of Facebook page. For the points of discussion, project details, house rules, invitation to bid, instruction to bidders, checklist of technical and financial documents, sealing and marking of bids, bid data sheet, technical specifications, forms, post-qualification documents, and reminders to bidders. For the project details, invitations to observers for the pre-bid conference were sent on August 20, 2026 to the following: Commission on Audit, Chief Information Officers Forum Foundations Inc., Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines Inc., and Philippine Computer Society. The provisional member and user representative to the DACT Back 1 for this project is Dear Edgar Navarro. Prospective bidders, let me just reiterate this po. For the prospective bidders which registered for today's pre-bid conference, Telered Technologies and Services Corp., Revolve Solutions Inc., and We Are IT Philippines Inc. And the prospective bidder who has already purchased the bidding documents, We Are IT Philippines Inc. on August 24, 2026. House rules, everyone is encouraged to make clarifications, identify name and company before raising a question, and limit questions to details of the procurement at hand. For the invitation to bid, the DACT BAC shall award the contract to the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid or LCRB. Instructions to bidders under bidding requirements. The bidding for the project shall be governed by all the provisions of RA 12009. Any amendments made to the IRR and other GPPB issuances shall be applicable only to the ongoing posting, advertisement, or IB by the BAC through the issuance of a supplemental or bid bulletin. The bidder, by the act of submitting its bid, shall be deemed to have verified and accepted the general requirements of this project, including other factors that may affect the cost, duration, and execution or implementation of the contract, project, or work, and examine all instructions, forms, terms, and project requirements in the bidding documents. For the corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, and coercive practices, the procuring entity as well as the bidders and suppliers shall observe the highest standard of ethics during the procurement and execution of the contract. They or through an agent shall not engage in corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, coercive, and obstructive practices defined under RA 12009 and other integrity violations in competing for the project. For the conflict of interest, all bidders found to have conflicting interests shall be disqualified to participate in the procurement at hand. without prejudice to the imposition of appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal sanctions. All bidding documents shall be accompanied by an omnibus sworn statement of the bidder that it is not related by consanguinity or affinity up to the third level to the hope, procurement agent if engaged, the head of the project management office or PMO, the end user or implementing unit, or any members of the Bids and Awards Committee or BAC, Technical Working Group or TWG, and BAC Secretariat. The bidder shall also disclose the ultimate beneficial ownership of an entity. Failure to comply shall be a ground for the automatic disqualification of the bid in consonance with Section 59 of the IRR. For the eligible bidders, first, only bids of bidders found to be legally, technically, and financially capable will be evaluated. Foreign ownership, limited to those allowed under the rules, may participate in this project. Next, GOCCs may be eligible to participate only if they can establish that they are legally and financially autonomous, operate under commercial law, and are not attached agencies of the procuring entity. Next, the bidder must have completed, within a period of 5 years from the submission of the bid, a single largest completed contract or SLCC that is similar to the procurement project to be bid, and whose value must be equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC, adjusted to current prices using the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA consumer price indices. To ensure broader bidder participation, bidders are allowed to present a combination of contracts completed within the same period provided that their total value is at least 50% of the ABC. Thus, the bidder should have completed at least one similar contract amounting to at least 25% of the ABC. And the bidder should have completed other contracts, whether similar or not, with an aggregate amount of at least 25% of the ABC. Next, the bidder must submit a computation of its net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, which must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid. Subcontracting is not allowed. For the clarification and amendment of bidding documents, requests for clarification should be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the BAC Secretariat, bac.secretariat@dact.gov.ph. Deadline for the request for clarification is on August 30, 2026, 4 p.m. Copies of the supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the MPhilJobs website, the DACT website, the ACT social media platform, and bulletin board at the ACT lobby. For the language of bids, the eligibility requirements or statements, the bids and all other documents to be submitted to the BAC must be in English. If the eligibility requirements or statements, the bids, and all other documents submitted to the BAC are in foreign language other than English, it must be accompanied by a translation of the documents in English. For contracting parties to the Apostille Convention, the documents shall be authenticated through an apostille by the competent authority as defined in Section 20.9.2 of the IRR, except for countries identified by the DFA that will still require legalization or red ribbon by the relevant embassy or consulate. For the checklist of technical and financial documents, under technical component envelope, first, PhilJobs Certificate of Registration Platinum Membership. Next, statement of the bidder, single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in Section 52.4.1.3, IRR of 812-009, within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents. Any of the following documents must be submitted together with the statement of single largest completed contract, first end user's acceptance, official receipt, and sales invoice for the contract. Next, NFCC computation or committed line of credit or LOC. Next, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Next, if applicable, JVA, or in the absence of a JVA, duly notarized statements from all potential JV partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the event that the bid is successful. Next, original copy of bid security. If in the form of surety bond, submit also a certification is issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Note, bidders who opt to submit a bid securing declaration as a form of bid security are required to use the bid securing declaration form in the attached bidding documents. Next po, schedule of requirements and technical specifications, which may include production or delivery schedule, manpower requirements, or after-sales service or parts, if applicable. Next, original duly signed Omnibus Sworn Statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized Secretary Certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do act to represent the bidder. And for foreign bidders claiming eligibility by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, a certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in their government procurement activities for the same item or product. Under financial documents envelope, first, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Next, original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule and certification from the DETI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. Next, bid and account and payment currency. Payment of the contract price shall be made in Philippine peso. For the bid price, use the proper form for goods offered from within the Philippines or goods offered from abroad in indicating price schedule. Bid validity, bids shall remain valid for the period specified in the BDS, which shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of opening of bids. Bid security, all bids must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in the BDS. Format and signing of bids. Bidders shall submit their bids through their duly authorized representative using the appropriate forms provided in Section 8, Philippine Bidding Requirement, a Philippine Bidding Document related forms on or before the deadline specified in ITB Clause 19 in two separate sealed bid envelopes. Forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 17.1 must be completed without any alterations to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the price schedule, under Section 8 shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Failure to do so shall be a ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. For the sealing and marking of bids, this is the illustration po. For the bid technical component original copy, technical component duplicate copy, and technical component triplicate copy. For the financial component original copy, financial component duplicate copy, and financial component triplicate copy. Also for the sealing and marking of bids, this must be indicated po to Department of Information and Communications Technology from name of bidder in capital letters, address of bidder in capital letters for the project, provision of internet access via low Earth orbit satellites or PIALEOS for geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. With bid reference number, the ACT BAC 2026 a to b REBID. And in capital letters indicate the phrase, do not open before September 9, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. For the copies, each bidder shall submit one original and two copies of the requirements of the documents. For the deadline for submission of bids, deadline for the submission of bids is on September 9, 2026, 12 noon, and the opening of bids is on September 9, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. For the bid evaluation, reminding bidders to kindly break down all the costs of taxes pursuant to Section 61.2.2 IRR of RA 12009 to wit. All bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes such as but not limited to value-added tax or VAT, income tax, local taxes and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. Members of the BAC, its staff and personnel, secretariat, and TWG as well as observers are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC, through its secretariat, may ask the bidder in writing for clarification of its bid. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. For the opening and preliminary examinations of bids, the manner of opening of the bids for goods shall depend on the award criterion to be adopted for this project. For LCRB, the BAC shall open the technical and financial proposals on the same day. Under bid data sheet, first contract similar to the project shall be a similar project shall refer to the supply, installation, configuration, commissioning, management, maintenance, and support of nationwide coverage of low Earth orbit satellite internet services, completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Next, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. For Lot 1 Luzon, amount of 6,046,709 and 55 centavos. Form of bid security, cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit and surety bond. For Lot 2, Visayas and Mindanao, amounting to 2,927,852 and 10 cents. Form of bid security, cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft or guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit and surety bond. And also for the all lots, amounting to 8,974,561 and 65 centavos. Post-qualification documents, the bidder, within 5 calendar days from receipt of notice from the BAC that it submitted the LCB, MEAB, or MAB, shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its PhilJEP certificate of registration, platinum membership, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the BDS. The bidder must submit a valid and current certificate of registration or COR as a value added service or VAS provided issued by the National Telecommunications Commission or NTC, authorizing the bidder to offer internet access service, manage ICT services, and manage infrastructure services through a duly accredited satellite service provider or operator or SSPO. In lieu of certificate of registration as value-added service provider, the service provider may submit at least one of the following. First, certificate of public convenience and necessity. The service provider to submit a certification from NTC that certifies the service provider is authorized to operate and maintain a nationwide wired and wireless broadband network in the Philippines and to offer broadband communication services and other ancillary services. Second po, Tier 1 Internet Service Provider or ISP certification. The service provider is to submit a certification from the NTC stating that they are authorized to establish, install, operate, and maintain a nationwide wired and wireless broadband network in the Philippines and offer national and international broadband communication services. Furthermore, in case of a joint venture or JV, at least one partner entity to the JV must possess and submit a valid certificate of registration as a value-added service provider or in lieu thereof, any of the alternative certifications permitted in item 1. The service provider must submit ISO 27001, Information Security and Cybersecurity, and ISO 9001 Quality Management System certifications. Next, the bidder must submit documentary evidence providing its status as an authorized reseller of Leo satellite systems, certified by the manufacturer. Next, the service provider must submit a list of key personnel who will be assigned to the project. This, this list must include at least one licensed electronics engineer and technical staff, both with prior experience in implementing similar communication projects. Proof of qualifications and credentials shall be submitted consisting of a valid Professional Regulation Commission or PRC ID for licensed professional and or an official certification of employment or engagement from the employer for technical staff attesting to their relevant experience. Next po, as proof of compliance, the bidder shall submit during post qualification a screenshot and method of procedure of the proposed NMS demonstrating the unified dashboard and its key functionalities together with complete developer ready documentation for all application programming interfaces or APIs exposed by the NMS. Next po, bidders shall submit the following brochure or datasheet indicating technical specifications and features of the customer premise equipment or CPE. First po, Leo Satellite Terminal, Outdoor Access Point or Outdoor AP, Indoor Access Point or Indoor AP, Branch Router or Switch, Data Communication Box, Uninterruptible Power Supply or UPS, and Power Distribution Unit or PDU. For the forms, schedule of requirements, technical specifications, bid form, price schedule for goods offered from abroad, price schedule for goods offered from within the Philippines, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and performance securing declaration. This is the bid form for procurement of goods, price schedule for goods, bid securing declaration form, omnibus sworn statement form. For the schedule of requirements, which includes item number, description, quantity, total, and delivery schedule. For item number 1, provision of internet access via low Earth orbit satellites or PIALEOS for geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. Lot A, Leo Luzon, with quantity of 1 and total of Lot 1. Next, item number 2, Lot B, Visayas and Mindanao, with the quantity and one lot. The delivery schedule for both the delivery and installation, including testing and acceptance at all locations in the contract, must be completed within 30 calendar days upon receipt of the of notice to proceed. The service duration will be for 360 calendar days. All sites activated and subsequently accepted will be paid in accordance with the payment schedule. Next, all undelivered sites under the contract that lapse the 30-day installation and delivery schedule will be subject to liquidated damages in accordance with the provisions. Lastly, in the event that the undelivered sites have been activated and subsequently accepted on any day of the 360-day subscription period, payment will only be made for the duration of actual site acceptance until the end of the contract, subject to the provisions of the liquidated damages. Reminders to bidders. The clock at the 19th floor Studio 7 using the Philippine Standard Time is the official reference time during submission and receipt of bids. A member of the back secretariat will be assigned to receive the bid documents at 19th floor Studio 7 lobby and shall stamp these as received. Bidders are reminded that entry inside the DICT premises is subject to the safety in place, and processing of payment for the bidding documents prior to the submission of the actual bid offer may take time. Presence in the DICT premises does not constitute submission on time, which shall refer to the actual handover of the bid proposal to the authorized personnel of the back secretariat. Request for clarification should be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the back secretariat, back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph. Deadline for the request for clarification is on August 30, 2026 at 4 p.m. Copies of supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the MPhilJobs website, the DICT website, and bulletin board at DICT lobby. For the common causes of ineligibility and disqualification, invalid field job certification, and underlying supporting documents, pursuant to Section 20.2.9.1 IRR of RA 12009, all Class A eligibility documents indicated in Annex A of the Field Jobs Registration Certificate, Platinum membership must be current, valid, and updated at the time of bid submission. The failure by the prospective bidder to update its certificate with the current and updated Class A eligibility documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the validity of its certificate until such time that all of the expired Class A eligibility documents has been updated. Thus, prospective bidders are required to update their PhilJobs registration certificates prior to the submission of their bids. Next, failure to attach the required supporting documents for the statement of single largest completed contract, similar to the project to be bid, and failure to include all the mandatory provisions. Next, submission of unsigned documents. Next, submission of audited financial statement without stamp receipt of the BIR. If an AFS was filed and paid through Electronic Filing and Payment System or EFPS, there is no need for stamp receipt of the BIR. Instead, bidders must submit their proof of AFS e-submission, namely BIR's email confirmation receipt of returns or documents with its filing reference number or transaction code. Failure to submit the bid securing declaration in the prescribed format attached in the bidding documents. Next, failure to submit bid securing declaration and omnibus sworn statement without a jurat as required in the form provided in the bidding documents pursuant to the latest rules on notarial practice. Next, failure to indicate compliance in the technical specifications and to attach proof of compliance if applicable. Next, for submission of bids through courier service, bidders are reminded that the courier service personnel must submit the bid proposal to the personnel of the Back Secretariat Division at the office address provided below. bid submission or proposal left by the career service personnel at the lobby guard or any other personnel or staff aside from the authorized box secretariat personnel will not be considered submitted for purposes of bid opening. The responsibility to ensure that the career service personnel submits the bid proposal to the authorized box secretariat is the sole responsibility of the prospective bidder. For the e-procurement video guide for bidders,
Accessing the e-procurement website. Open any web browser and go the https://eprocurement.dict.gov.ph. Click the Sign Up button. Provide a valid email address. Create a password with at least 8 alphanumeric characters, 1 uppercase, a number, and a symbol. Repeat your password for confirmation. Tick the checkbox to agree to the terms and conditions. And click Create Account button. Open the email account that you provided during registration. Check your inbox and verify your account by following the instructions in the email. Click Activate Your Account button. Go back to the e-procurement system and enter your registered email address and password. Click Login button, and you will be redirected to the onboarding page. Input your personal information and click Next button. Input your company information and click Next button. Review the information you provided and click Confirm button. Once onboarded, you will be redirected to the homepage/dashboard. Select the procurement project you wish to participate in by clicking the View Complete Details button. Select the lot you wish to participate and click Participate in Bidding button. A confirmation modal will appear. Review the details, click the Confirm button, and you will be redirected to the payment window. Select your preferred payment method from the list and click Pay Now button. Print and save the receipt as proof of payment and for reference. You may also check your email to view your receipt. Click the Go Back to Merchant button. You will be redirected to the My Transactions page, where a list of your transactions will be displayed.
that would be all po from the box secretariat. Thank you po.
Mr. Chair, we will now move to the presentation of the technical specifications.
Hello pa? Again po, Backsec.
We will now move po to the presentation po of the technical specifications,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you po. To our prospective bidders, may we confirm if you have thoroughly reviewed the bidding documents, particularly the technical specifications posted on the modernized pages and the ICT website? Mr. Chair, may we request for the guidance of the back on dispensing with the reading of the technical specifications and proceed po directly to any clarifications or questions from prospective bidders po.
Any comments from the back? If none, dear Gino, dear Ed.
None from my end, Mr. Chair.
How about you, dear Ed? Okay. Looks like there's none naman po, Backsec. Go ahead and solicit the comments from the potential bidders. And please acknowledge first kung ilan sila. And we should take note na umuo naman si Dear Ed based from the thumbs up message from him. Okay, go ahead, Backsec.
Copy po. Thank you po. For our prospective bidders, if you have questions that you would like to raise, kindly use the raise hand button and we will call you one by one. Once called, kindly introduce yourself and mention the company you represent po. Thank you po. Anyone po from the prospective bidders? Do you have questions po? For Telered Technologies po, do you have any questions po? The representative po from Telered.
No questions from Telered, ma'am. We will just email if we have additional questions.
Okay, copy po. Anyone po from Revolve Solutions Inc? Any representative po? Do you have questions po?
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Caprente, Revolve Solutions. I have no further questions. I will just submit my query in writing. Thank you.
Backsec.
Yes po.
Is Rija?
Yes po, Mr. Vice Chair.
Backsec Bob is online. Is he?
Hmm. Hindi, wala na po siya, Mr. Chair. Vice
Dear
Chair.
Carlo, confirm muna, Dear
Po,
Carlo.
andito po, andito
Opo.
po.
Backsec Bob, no problem.
Apologies po.
Any more questions from our prospective bidders? Going once. Going twice. Okay, this is not the final opportunity for the prospective bidders to send their queries or clarifications. As mentioned earlier, there is still time until August 30, 4 p.m. Tama ba, Krisha?
Yes po, Mr. Vice
Okay.
Chair.
And to our prospective bidders, our back secretariat will be sending or reminding at the conclusion of this meeting on the uh, email to be used and the date and time of sending the deadline for the queries. Okay, sige. There are no more questions to be had during this meeting. Sige, let's have the final reminders, Pacsec, please.
Copy po. Thank you po, Mr. Vice Chair. For our prospective bidders po, we would like to reiterate the request for clarification should be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the back secretariat. Email at back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph. The deadline for the submission for the clarification is on August 30, 2026 at 4 p.m. Copies of supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the MPhilJobs website, the DICT website, and bulletin board at DICT lobby. Mr. Chair and Sir Vice Chair, that's all po for our agenda today. This morning, would you like to, suspend po this meeting?
Sige. Thank you to our prospective bidders for showing interest in this procurement item. You may be allowed to exit this meeting room. And the next agenda is scheduled at, if I'm not mistaken, after lunch na ba yun, Krisha?
Yes po, Mr. Vice Chair, at 1:30 PM po.
1:30 p.m. Okay. Sige. If there are no more matters to be discussed for this agenda item, this meeting is suspended until 1:30 p.m. later. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you po. Thank you, everyone.